Hey, how you doing, listeners? This is Gina Versa. This is another episode of Serving Up Comics. It's a Waffle Press podcast, part of that. And today we're talking Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1 and 2. And I got some cool guests with me, former coworkers at G4. So it's always good to have some of my friends and colleagues on to talk nerdy stuff like we used to. But to my left, I have Stephanie. Stephanie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Been on your show once, once I believe. So it's cool to do the trade off.
Yeah, there's like a little universe, a little metaverse going on over here.
Yeah, definitely. And then we also have Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Glad to be on with you guys. Few of my
Yeah.
favorite ex-coworkers.
Oh, thank you. I'm flattered.
Yep.
But yeah, we're talking Guardians. But before we do that, has anyone seen anything cool or read anything worth watching, worth reading or watching lately? Try to do that as a kind of, you know, just casual warm up or something.
I saw Suzume a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
nice.
That's an anime movie that people need to see, I think, if you like Makoto Shinkai's work. And then I saw the concert from Radwimps, who does the music for the past three of his movies. And that was fun. So I was gonna deep dive into anime the past few weeks.
No, it's all good. Anything for Senkai. Enjoy his movies. At least that and Weathering with You.
Hmm.
So those have been pretty good ones. I don't think he's made a bad movie, I don't think.
I haven't seen his earlier stuff, but I'm assuming
Oh,
they're
okay.
good. I don't know. I
Am
don't
I
know.
am I wrong? Did he do Digimon the movie
No,
or
I
oh,
don't think he
okay.
did.
Okay.
If he
He
did, I'm sure it is the most amazing Digimon movie
oh,
ever
okay.
made. Probably, I don't
I
know.
I think it might have been a mixing him up with the guy who did Summer Wars, if anyone's familiar with that movie.
Mm,
But yeah,
I know Summer Wars. Yeah.
I think that's the same person that did Digimon, but
Okay.
it's all good. But yeah, Suzume is good. I saw it a few weeks ago as well. I'm trying to rewatch it at some point, but yeah, I think the theaters are just going to be filled up with Guardians for the
Hmm.
next couple weeks. But
Yeah.
I'll yeah try to
Or
make
Super
as
Mario
much.
Brothers fans.
Yeah,
They're still going strong. Apparently.
Oh
Mario
wow.
and
Yeah.
Marvel just dominating the theaters. But yeah, Stephanie, have you seen anything
Uh
recently? Binge
I
watching
mean,
anything?
I've been watching this Korean show on Netflix called Hotel Del Luna. It captivated my attention. Like it caught my attention and it's interesting. Like the premise is like this hotel that pops up for dead people that helps them like transition into the afterlife, but the owner made a deal with the guy who died to like take his son, and his son is now like
Hmm,
her protege, I guess. I don't know.
okay.
It's interesting.
I love Korean dramas.
Yeah.
That's been
Do
on my
it.
watch list for a while now. I've been trying to sit down and watch that one.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to put that on the watch list as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check those out. I think let me see anything worth talking about. I saw Sisu. If anyone's heard of that one, it's
The
Oh.
Swedish like revenge action
yeah,
film. I saw
yeah.
the trailer for that in I think John Wick. That looked
Oh, okay,
amazing. It looked trailer looked crazy, bloody
yeah.
as hell.
Oh
It's
wow.
everything you think it will be. It's just a Finnish soldier just killing Nazis for 90 minutes. That's the entire movie. He only speaks once at the very end. He's just trying to get his gold because he's like a prospector and he gets this like thing of gold and he runs into these Nazis, but they try to take it, but yeah, thankfully he just mows them all down. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely worth watching.
My favorite thing
What?
about that is that the trailer looks like a total art house movie when it
Hmm.
starts. You're like,
Hmm.
oh, it's a nice little art house Swedish film or something like that, and then it's like you're on blood. I'm like, whoa, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's super bloody. Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
kills that are just like insane. So yeah, definitely check
Wow.
those out. But
Yeah.
yeah, some recommendations that we have.
I'm just
But
writing them down now.
oh yeah, of
Mhm.
course. Update your if you have Letterbox. That's a good app.
Yes.
Love Letterbox. Excuse me. But yeah, kind of segueing into our main topic here, talking about Guardians. So Volume One came out 2014. Um, I believe this was announced at some point at Comic Con. I don't think James Gunn was always attached to this. I don't want to say. So maybe like in 2012, I want to say they did some sort of Comic Con presentation, and everyone was like Guardians of the Galaxy. They haven't heard of the property. I think they were probably still kind of a lesser known sort of property around that time, even though they're in some like Marvel events like Annihilation, and they relaunched the run with I think it was Andy Landon. But yeah, no one knew who they were, and then James Gunn took over the writing of it and directing, and it just kind of like spoke for itself. The first trailer came out, all the needle drops. Kind of started this weird trend, I guess, we see now, where it's just like needle drops and action sequences. I'm not sure say he's originating it, but he probably popularized it. But any thoughts on that? What were your guys' first impressions when like you just heard Guardians of the Galaxy? Do you think it was gonna like do well? People were gonna see it? Would it have translated? What say you guys?
Oh gosh. I initially I'm one of those people like if you have a good soundtrack, I'm
Mhm.
probably gonna watch just
Yeah.
because music is my thing. And I didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were at all. So it was interesting seeing like the trailer and then watching the movie. And I'm sure we'll get into this later,
Mhm.
but it made like I'm surprised in a good way that James Gunn basically turned a group of nobodies into like a huge like they're on the third one now,
Yeah.
like they're a
Yeah.
huge deal now. So
Everyone
bravo,
who knows,
James.
yeah, everyone knows who Rocket is, Rocket Raccoon,
Yeah.
which is like such an obscure, weird Marvel character when you think about it.
Oh yeah. Like I knew
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl, but I didn't know
Hmm.
Rocket. And I was like, how have I not heard of Rocket the Raccoon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. We haven't never seen Squirrel Girl, I guess. I think no wait, no, she's on the Avengers campus, right? For Spider-Man.
Oh, I've never.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's with the kid from Iron Man 3 somewhere, yeah.
Harley?
Harley's in the ride, yeah. He just has like a
Oh,
cameo with like it's like him. I forgot who else was on that ride, but I don't know if it's canon. But yeah, we never seen Squirrel go on film. I don't know if we ever will, but interesting character.
Gimme,
Yeah.
gimme.
there was supposed to be a show, I think, of her before, but
Yeah, I think so. It might have
New
been like
Warriors.
the New Warriors, which I think got
Mhm.
canned, or there was a pilot or something.
I know we're
If
talking
anyone.
Guardians, but like a small segue to Squirrel Girl since we're talking about her.
Mhm.
Around the time that shoot was shooting, the actress Melinda Weintraub or something like that, I believe her name is.
Oh, the AT&T girl?
Yes,
Oh,
she
okay.
guested on a Geek and Sundry show that I was working on at the time, and she
Hmm.
was done up. Her hair was Squirrel Girl, like short length and stuff.
Hmm.
And I wanted to ask her about it, but like everybody's like, you can't ask her about that. She's not going to talk about it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh
Oh.
man, they
And
had
then I was
the
like, okay, I'll see it soon enough. And they never released it. So I never saw it. So I have no
darn.
idea.
They had the Marvel snipers on her.
Yeah.
Not say anything. Man.
um, but yeah, as far as Guardians goes,
Hmm.
I don't think I read all of it, but I collected all of the Annihilation series. So that's where I knew of the Guardians, but that's the only place I knew of the Guardians. Rocket, I thought was so I used to read a comic book called Spider Ham, which is I
Oh
think
yeah.
everybody knows now because of
Yeah.
Across the Spider Verse, and
Hmm.
there's a pig Spider Man, and I thought Rocket Raccoon was from that same world, and he was the animal version of whatever Star Lord was, and they just happened to work in the same thing. But I didn't know they were two separate people. I didn't know much about it, but I don't know. I was looking forward to it just because I did like James Gunn's work,
Yeah.
in like Slither
Hmm.
and at the
Super.
time, yeah. Um, and then I think he also at the time he wrote one of the Dawn of the Dead movies, I think.
Yeah,
And
that
yes,
remake.
so I knew of his work. I think he also did the Scooby Doo remakes too.
Yes,
And
yeah, he
so
famously wrote the first two.
right, so I knew of him. So I was like, oh, I'm interested to see how this turns out. But I didn't think it was going to be huge. I thought that was going to be like probably the first Marvel movie that was kind of like, you know, at the time. So I was like, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, like who would have thought, this guy that starts from like trauma movies, which,
Yeah,
kind of the famous B movies of their time, which I don't know. Any listeners may vary if you watch any trauma movies, but they're certainly very unique. But yeah, no, I think yeah, his movies were great. I think before Guardians, the one I saw was probably like Super, because that kind of like got some traction right before it released. It was it had like Rainn Wilson. I think it was like
hmm
on IFC all the time, probably or something. And it's a great movie. It's a really good movie. It's basically like one of those like real life sort of like superhero, like what would happen if they're in real life. But it's just really like zanier than you think. And then it's also pretty much like I think like James Gunn writing about his divorce. So it's like has a lot of depth to it, So it's a really cool film that if anyone has not seen it, it's funny. Yeah. But yeah, his works, are pretty interesting, stuff like Scooby Doo, I think, is really funny. That's like a very kind of like a kid's version of like a raunchy movie, I think, at times. I'm not sure if anyone remembers the first two Scooby Doo's.
I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the jokes that they snuck in there. It's just like Shaggy, his girlfriend is named Mary Jane, and then he says like, "Oh, hey, he loves that name, but he doesn't know why." you know. So yeah, like yeah, his movies are great. But yeah, no, it's really interesting that Marvel chose him. But yeah, I guess like the movie itself, rewatching it, any takeaways that you guys had, just kind of the plot or the structure, or just you know,
I found it interesting how it was like a little bit of a segue into Thanos because we did
hmm,
get little tidbits of it in the Avengers
yes,
series up until that point.
yeah,
So it was interesting how they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll totally bring in this group called Guardians of the Galaxy, but this is how we connect it all."
yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like it was in regards to like introducing the characters, they did a good job doing it. They kept my horrible attention span on point. Like it like I was enthralled the entire time. Um and I feel like I can rewatch it again and again and again.
yeah. Has a really good rewatchability factor, I think,
Mhm.
personally, because I've seen it a bunch of times. Yeah. Mike, any takeaways for you rewatching or watching recently?
Yeah. So, um, I remember I just rewatched it recently after like
Hmm.
several years, and I forgot how much I liked the soundtrack, which is
Oh
obvious
yes.
because that's like that was the main selling point of the promotion for the movie at the time. I remember that was really good. I also I wish they had gone more into the Nova Corps and
Yeah.
like all of the stuff in Xandar because I'm like, oh my gosh, and like rewatching it now, I'm like, this could have like been a great part to the whole Infinity Saga, because I think they mentioned like they that Thanos destroyed that
The Nova
world,
Corps.
yeah,
Yeah.
to get one of the stones. So I'm like, oh man, if they just like kept going with that, that would have been really cool because it was right there. They set it all up. They had so much set up and I don't think they ever revisited. Yeah, they never revisited it until the sequels. So
No, yeah, I
yeah,
think.
there was never like, I mean, you can't really do it because obviously it was the only space movie. So I
Mhm.
don't think there was a way for them to revisit it without doing another Guardians movie. But yeah, missed
Mm.
opportunities. But it was
Yeah.
great. It was a fun watch. Definitely fun to rewatch again.
Yeah, I think someone said out there is a deleted scene from Infinity War that would have had the Nova Corps in it. but I think it got cut, which is why you just smash cut to Thanos already invading.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
I,
interesting.
I think like one of the rumors was that instead of the Hulk being sent to Earth to warn them, it was Nova that was sent to Earth to warn them, or
Yeah.
something like that. But they didn't want to introduce him that way, so it's kind of like, oh,
Missed
well,
opportunity.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
There's so many missed opportunities with that.
Pretty much, yeah. It would have been interesting because I think like Nova is a good character, at
Yeah.
least in the comics. He's kind of their version of Green Lantern, or the Green Lantern Corps,
Hmm.
which it feels like you don't really see that too much in the MCU. They're just kind of, which I get. They're more, they're kind of just like, I don't know, just really like cops. They don't like have any special abilities. There's just solely like officers, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
What I'm not really familiar on the whole Nova story, but was the Ronan Day character the one that what's his name? I don't know, he was one of the characters he was one of the main ones in the movie. He supposed to be like the guy that was like the previous Nova or Richard Rider's
oh,
like
like the like Ronan the Accuser.
no, not Ronan. It was the other guy. It was the one
Korath?
uh the one that played, on Talladega Nights, the other guy, not
Oh, John C. Riley.
Darcy Riley's character.
Oh,
Hmm. I
I
don't
thought,
Horseman
think.
Day.
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
so. Maybe I don't. Yeah, I don't. I
Hmm.
don't think it was. Maybe there's some deep lore from the comics that connects the two.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't sure about it, but like just rewatching, I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if this character was supposed to be like someone that like was really important if like they
yeah,
went with the Nova story. But
yeah,
yeah,
possibly.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been cool. There's so many deleted scenes in all these Marvel movies that we'll never see.
yeah,
We'll
We just
never.
need we just need James Gunn cuts of like every
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
yeah. The
exactly.
James Gunn cut would be great.
Yeah. But yeah, any takeaways that I saw? I feel like this had so much world building to do. It had a lot to really like get across because it's like Thanos and has to explain the Infinity Stones. Going back to Thanos, it has to introduce Thanos because Thanos was only like he has a cameo in Avengers and he gets talked about like once or twice,
Mhm.
and maybe like in between these movies. But also too like a different actor in Thanos in Avengers. It's not Josh Brolin. You know, it was I think it was like some Buffy the Vampire Slayer actor originally. Not to say that they were going to cast him, but I think it was just kind of a placeholder. So really, this movie is like your first introduction to like Thanos, you know?
I believe
And
it was Damian Porter
yeah,
is the name of the guy, and I only
yeah.
know this because he also worked at Geek and Sundry back
Oh,
when I was
really?
there. Yeah,
Was it for like a show or anything or?
he was a host of a show that I worked on back then.
Oh, did he say
But
anything about Thanos or?
no, this is after this is all he left
Oh,
by
okay,
that point. So
gotcha. Was he
he's
on
big.
Buffy?
I don't remember if he was on Buffy. He was most recently on The Flash.
Oh, okay, nice.
He was a character named Goldfinger, or not Goldfinger, but like something like
Gold.
that, where he
Oh, okay.
controlled the element of gold.
Hmm.
Yeah, but he was like, I think he was a recurring villain in Flash.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. He worked on that show with D Dave from
Oh,
the show that we worked on.
Invitation to Party, was he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You were
that's
the two
cool.
co-hosts of that show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never knew we all worked with Thanos, the original.
We
But
had
yeah,
6 degrees of separation, I guess. Yeah.
pretty much. But yeah, the movie has so much to do, but then it's interesting that it has also the fact that it breathes. You know, there's like small moments in this movie where it's just like you see like the opening, Peter dancing, trying to find it, or him annoyed at Korath because he doesn't remember his name,
Mhm.
or the scene with the Groot spores. You know, you have like little moments like that that are just really appreciated in this movie. You know, I feel like, has a lot of the charm of the early MCU. So that was kind of my main takeaway. watching that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it still holds up. I love it. I love revisiting this too because it's like sometimes I don't have a chance to rewatch movies before like it's complete in a trilogy. So it was cool to finally watch it, and then we'll watch 3 this weekend, see how that goes.
That's
But
Yeah.
right.
yeah, it's coming up. But any other things? The Groot ending, or excuse me, Groot's death, tearjerker.
So much sadness.
Yeah, he did technically die because I think
Yeah, I
that's
didn't know that until recently. Someone
yeah,
like I always thought he just like became a kid again, but it was like someone like, no, that's a new Groot. That's the original
yeah.
one died. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he looks slightly different in Volume 3 if you see all the trailers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Different Groot. But yeah, any like, going back to the Groot death, like that's such a profound moment. We are Groot in a Marvel film of all things too. Don't really see that now. Yeah, any when you're first watching it, you're like, oh man, are they really gonna kill him off, or what'd you think?
I thought it was a noble hero's death, in that
Hmm.
way of like,
agreed. Yeah,
yeah, in that very period way. It was beautiful though, like poor little rocket baby being all
Yeah,
sad and stuff. And he just says like, "We are Groot." I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
basically like, I love you, and I can't right now.
Hmm.
But
yeah,
it's like, it's nice that he kept a little stick, and then the stick became a little baby Groot.
Yeah.
yeah,
When
yeah. That yeah, I thought that was a really good noble death too. I was always curious though, could he have picked up any stick and it would have turned into Groot, or is it that just that one specific stick that had like a scene? I
Hmm.
I never wondered about that because like he was like scattered around basically, and
it
like
would
do
be
those
an
other ones turn
army.
in? Yeah, do the other
Yeah,
ones
an
turn
army
into
of
other Groots
Groots.
as well or something? I never understood that, and I never got an answer for that. So that was the one thing that I always questioned, but I thought it
I
was a
think
great noble death.
I think theoretically they could all grow into Groots.
So there's an army of Groots out there somewhere, hopefully.
Yeah,
Like, James,
maybe.
we're gonna need you to answer this question.
Gotta tweet him.
I also like that it ended. I think if, I could be wrong, but like one of the last shots in the movie is of Yondu,
Hmm.
and so Yondu is like one of the main characters or of the next movie.
Hmm.
And when in the rewatch, I'm sure we'll get to the second one in a minute, but in that one, the final shot is of Rocket, and we can tell
Mm.
from the trailers of the third one that he's a major part of the third movie. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like almost like he's telegraphing, like hinting at like this is character. Watch out for this character in the next movie, and the same with the
Mm.
second movie too. So I don't know, but I mean that's what I noticed.
Yeah. No, that tracks because yeah, Rocket is pretty much the center of Volume 3. I hope he doesn't die. I guess we'll find out on
Yeah,
Friday. But yeah, no, that's interesting. That's cool. I never noticed that before, actually. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess Volume 2 was very Yondu centric. Segue. That's my segue into talking about Volume 2. But yeah, no, I think Volume 2 is actually my personal favorite of the two. I don't know about the trilogy. Still haven't seen 3. But yeah, I think the plot is like looser, a little more experimental. What are you guys' thoughts on Volume 2 after rewatching it?
I want to hear Mikey's thing
Oh
first.
yeah.
Oh well, I thought Volume Two was the 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 more like experimental of
Hmm.
his Guardians movies because like he does a lot of things. Some of it's the comedy in there is more slapsticky. There's a part where they're like bouncing around the universe and going to the different
Yeah.
um, warp points and stuff like that, and that's kind of like pinball sounds and stuff like that, and like their faces are all distorted. It's very slapsticky, and like a lot of the comedy is very much. There's a point when Mantis gets hit in the head with a meteor and just gets knocked out, and he went like hard on the jokes in the same way that like you could say that they went hard on the jokes for the last Thor movie, but in
Hmm.
this one, I think they landed the jokes.
Yeah.
It made more sense. He didn't go overboard, but he
Hmm.
did go hard on the slapstick humor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that. Rocket. I think this is like the beginning. I mean, obviously it started in the first movie, but I think you can tell that like he's trying to hint at like something big with Rocket. Like I said at the end, is the final shot is of Rocket, and in the next movie, he's a huge part of it. So I think that's one thing that I noticed, and then also Mantis. You could kind of tell that like he was really surprised or just really impressed with how Palm Clementov
Mhm.
was played Mantis, because in the spin off, this holiday special, it's her and Drax the whole time. So
Yeah,
like
pretty
I feel
much.
like after that movie, he's like, oh wow, I got something here. I want to like keep working with her on like other things. So like he made her the focus of that. But that was really cool, and I'm really interested in the whole. I got really interested in the whole parentage of like of like or the progeny of like of Ego and all the different um uh lost children that he
Mhm.
had.
Yeah, and you find out in
S-
the Christmas special that he's Mantis was one of his kids as well.
right. And then in the movie, though, she says that he found her as a larva on a planet, which you're like, well, why didn't she know that? But then it's kind of like, oh yeah, she was young. She didn't know at the time. Maybe after like she would like go into his mind and help him sleep, then she realized that like he went to that planet to find her to see if she had the gene that made her compatible, but she didn't have it. And she was only able to, he probably would have killed her if he not for the fact that she can make him sleep. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? That's like those like he found a use for her eventually. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh, he will let her live, but he probably
yeah,
would have killed her too. So
yeah. Eventually, Ego was not a very good dad. I guess that was kind of yeah, big theme of the movie was fatherhood.
hmm
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it takes some really big swings. I think it's one of the funnier Marvel movies.
hmm
Definitely funnier than Love and Thunder.
right.
Leagues better than Love and
But see, that's
Thunder.
how you can do it. Like you can balance the two, comedy and still have a good movie. Whereas Love and Thunder was kind of like shifted way towards the over the top comedy. This one was
Yeah,
kind of like going that way, but kind of like
yeah,
he still found the way to rein it in and like make it still. It also, I guess, it kind of fits with the characters.
yeah,
So I mean that's another thing, because I mean the characters were always going to be this kind of like have a good sense of humor and stuff like that. But I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened on Love and Thunder. Yeah, definitely not someone. Definitely not the director. Allegedly on a certain substance. Allegedly, the whole shoot.
Allegedly.
The whole
Allegedly.
shoot. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Volume 2. Yeah, it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, holds up.
Um, yeah, it really does. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just love it's funny, but I really love the heart of that movie because it's like so beautiful, like stuff where it's like Yondu saving Peter, telling him, that it's basically his dad and everything.
He
The
may be
kinsh.
your father, but he's
Mhm.
not your daddy.
I know. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
misremembering that line. I didn't want to like mess it up, but yeah, that's such a great line, such a great delivery by Michael Rooker. Like the emotion on his face, the scene, he dies.
Oh my god, that
Yeah,
scene.
that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The funeral too, all the Ravagers. What a great scene. What a well directed movie.
It was
Yeah.
such a good movie.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
when people say they don't enjoy Volume 2, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Missing this. Like, I don't know. Some people don't like it or what have you, but like, just
Yeah.
wave those people away. I think.
And it
I
also has
feel
my
like
favorite title sequence too, the end credit scenes, because they like there's like five. So it's my favorite like end credit sequence of any of
Yeah.
the Marvel movies, because it just kept going and going, and there's like the I am Groot in little title sequences or the credit sequences and stuff.
Hmm.
So sorry, Stephanie, go ahead.
Super
no,
this
you're
guy. Yeah.
good. All good. It was absolutely darling. Like the opening scene alone is just adorable and
Hmm.
but going back to the Yondu situation, just I wanted to make sure that I stared at the screen when I rewatched it earlier today. And
Hmm.
that entire like when like obviously he's dying because he's in space and bodies aren't capable of handling space. And once the eyes started freezing over, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. That whoever's thought we should do that and that should be the defining moment of Yondu being dead. I hate you, but
Yeah.
God, do I respect you so much.
Hmm.
um the entire volume and in itself, like it's hard to say something because Mike, you put everything in so well. You said everything that I
Hmm.
was thinking and more. Like, sir, there's a reason why we were all friends when we were in the office. We were
Yeah.
office buddies for a reason.
Yeah.
But that you did bring up a really good point of like the comedy, the slapstick comedy and humor that was in the movie was done well, because you can go overboard and it'll just be disgustingly cheesy, Thor Love and
Hmm.
Thunder, and or you can do a really good job with it. And they did a very good balance between it. And I completely forgot about that alien species that decided, oh, they stole our battery, we're coming for them. Like I
Oh
completely
yeah.
forgot that they were
Yeah.
there like halfway through the movie, because everything that they utilized for, the whole ego and father thing, it, it it made me forget about like the side plots that were going on. Um, but I found like that story and alone with ego is a really good metaphor of just because it's blood doesn't mean it's good. You
Yeah.
know. Oh, that sounds so bad. That sounds
Yeah.
bad. No, I love
Mhm.
you, mommy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is moments of like, well, I idolize this person and now I met the person and now it's not a great
Hmm.
person. And I can only
Yeah.
imagine what Peter Quill's mental processing of it. Like, finally, I'm meeting my hero. I'm meeting the guy that my mom like loved and
Yeah.
all this, just to find out, oh yeah, no, I killed your mom.
Yeah.
I loved your
Yeah.
mom and I
God.
killed your mom. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Oh, what? And so, of course, when he finds out, like, oh, you killed my mother,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna rage out. He loved his
Hmm.
mom, and that
Yeah.
was his base of love and affection. So yeah, get him.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
it ended the way it did.
And that also
Yeah.
speaks to his character because it's like in the Infinity War saga, when he snaps when he finds out that Gamora gets killed, you kind of like if you look at it like, wait a minute, that fits with his character. He's impulsive. Like we know that from the past few movies that he's very impulsive, and like when he loves someone and he finds out something bad happened to them, he freaks out. So like it was set up already. It was like it's great. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like he really had uh he never had that chance of growing up and not being impulsive. Like
Yeah.
everything that the job
Yeah.
description was impulsive.
Yeah. Because he was raised by Yondu and like that, and you see that in Yondu as well, like how Yondu makes decisions like on the fly, and like I'm not going to give this kid to ego and stuff like that. Like he just decides to break deals and stuff like that because he's very impulsive. He thinks with his heart, and so does Peter. And that was the
Mhm.
message that he told Peter at the end. I don't use my head; I use my heart to make
Hmm.
the use my powers and stuff. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Very well said. Yeah. God. Yeah. So good. Such a good movie. Yeah.
Hmm.
It makes me kind of, man, I'm like, I guess kind of to touch on a little bit, the wait between volume 2 and 3 is like, yeah, something like 6 years. I think famously, James Gunn got fired. I don't know, like let go, because of whole tweets that he already apologized for. That was the whole thing. So kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I really would have. I don't know what the original version of Volume 3 would have been. Granted, we haven't seen the actual version, but yeah, it's interesting. Like, man, it's such a big gap in between these two movies too.
I think if it had gone normal, it would have led off this phase 4, right? Instead of Black
Hmm.
Widow doing it, I think it would have
I
been the lead.
think, yeah, I think it might have. Yeah, but
Yeah.
God, it's hard to keep track of the timeline of the phases because it's like COVID delayed it and then other
Yeah.
production delays, so it's like impossible. But I think you are right. I want to say, but
Yeah.
yeah, someone has to check the Marvel wiki or something crazy. But yeah, Volume 2 still certified good, I think. And yeah, I think yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, all the points about it, just it kind of feels like self-contained, which I feel really helps the movie. Like the most thing you get maybe out of the MCU is like the seeing the Watchers. Maybe I can't think of anything else They have the cameo from
Mhm.
some Watchers that Stan Lee is with, one of his last cameos, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, but yeah, it really benefits the movie. But yeah, I don't think anything else to say on Volume 2. You guys want to kind of point out or anything?
I mean, I
'Cause
can
I could
go on
talk
a
about.
psychological
Yeah,
dive in, but we do not
yeah,
have the time for
yeah.
that.
I would have liked some connection to Captain Marvel because I think they knew
Hmm.
at the point that they were going to do that. I don't know if she was cast yet or not, but maybe like some sort of mention of like I don't know Captain Marvel. I guess it would have been
Yeah.
cool, but because she was in space at the time
Mm-hmm.
because
She was
she had her, I mean her movie hadn't come out yet,
right.
um but in the timeline that happens like relatively early. Then she goes into space, and then she's like patrolling space around the time of Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be kind of interesting if they like mentioned, oh yeah, Peter Quill, the human. There's another human that's out here in space too. That's like doing good, like the female human, Captain Marvel, something like that. They might have brought her up, but they never did. But I mean, I just think about all these ways that they could always connect things, but just because I read
Yeah.
too many comic books.
No. Yeah. It's a lot of possibilities in the Guardians, but yeah, Captain Marvel. She's just around. I think.
Yeah.
Tangentially. But yeah, still good. Yeah, we could talk eons on that. But anything to say on the Christmas special? Because I thought that was actually pretty nice. I like feels like Marvel keeps doing some Christmas stuff. You had Hawkeye one year, and then Guardians. So I don't know. It was a nice kind of little TV episode. It felt like, right?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I mean, I don't know if how much of it plays into the new movie, but it was at least where they are,
Yeah,
going into the third movie, so that's good.
catch
And
up with them.
there was like one big bomb, which is like Mantis and Peter related, so that's good.
Mm,
But it was just nice to see those two characters because I feel like they did have a lot to do in the last movie, but it was mostly Star Lord, it was mostly Gamora, um, Rocket, of course. So it's kind of nice to have a solo adventure with those two mainly because
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, I thought that Mantis was like a real breakout star in that one. So, and Drax is
yeah,
always funny. So,
yeah. They really go well off each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, them and Kevin Bacon too. I thought he was kind of the standout too. I love the Kevin Bacon cameo,
Yeah,
just playing himself.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really hoping for more Palm, so I'm very glad that we
Hmm.
had that opportunity because watching the second one, yes, she did do things. Yes, the character was established, but I felt like it wasn't enough. So getting that Christmas special did give me a little bit more of what I
Mhm.
wanted. And I am looking forward to the third volume.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any expectations? Kind of wrapping up here on volume 3, going into it. As of this recording, we have not seen it. Comes out in 2 days. What are you guys feeling?
Look, okay, so in the first volume, the collector's establishment is obviously destroyed entirely, and all these critters run away. I want to see those critters because
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
we're gonna get the dog of
Cosmo.
obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get Cosmo, and then oh cows. What was the
Howard the Duck was in there.
Howard the
Howard the
Duck. Yeah.
Duck.
Yeah.
I want a Howard the Duck because I bought the DVD from the one that happened before we,
Oh.
you know, um,
Oh,
and I
such
would
a
like them
such a
to.
strange movie.
It's so weird, and
It's
I
weird.
want like a good Howard the Duck plot
Yeah.
in the MCU. And then we're
Yeah, maybe like an animated special or something. I think he's in some What If episodes too. Seth Green comes back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's in the
but
zombie one, I think.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. Howard the
Yeah.
Duck. Yeah, he's. I think he's a good character. Terrible at times. Kind of watchable movie. If anyone wants to, feeling dangerous, watch Howard the Duck, the '80s movie produced by George Lucas. I don't know
You
what
It's
have
happened
been
to
funny.
it.
warned.
It's funny how many like big stars are in that too, or
Yeah.
roughly bigger. Like
Time.
Tim Robbins, Leah Thompson. I'm like, what the
Hmm.
heck?
I think it kind of destroyed her career.
No, did it?
I think it might
That
have.
came out after Back to the Future.
It came after, yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
I don't know. I still think she's a good actress. I
Yeah, she's
mean,
great.
yeah, I like her still.
Yeah, but yeah, something about Howard the Duck.
I'm also
Yeah.
looking forward to Howard the Duck though. Like, I want to see what he does in this one because
Oh
he's had
yeah.
little cameos in every movie so far.
Yes, do.
And he also had a small like he's in
In-game.
now in Endgame, like at the
Yes.
very end, but you don't really see anything he does, but he's in there. So I kind of want to see what they do with him because I know they're going to do something. And I know it's not going to be big, but it's just kind of funny to see what he does. And I'm looking forward to that and like a lot of the cameos that happen. Like I think in one of the commercials they kind of show that what is Sylvester Stallone's Ravengers crew
Sakaar.
called?
I think it's
Yeah.
Sakaar. Yeah.
One of his crews in the commercial, so I know that they come back at some point.
The
I'm curious
original Guardians.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Michelle Yeoh's character comes back because she's already like another character in
In
the MCU.
Shang-Chi, I think.
Yeah, so it's like, does she just have two characters now? I'm curious about that.
I think so, yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, it wouldn't be. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Gemma Chan.
Mm-hmm.
She has two characters in there. Well, one of them's dead now, but I mean,
Yeah.
she
did
had
for a
two
time.
characters. But yeah, I'm curious to see that. I'm curious to see I like all the rocket stuff. Yes, that's good. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be heartbreaking. Whatever happens, I don't know what happens. But whatever happens, it's gonna be sad.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see what the conclusion of the Adam Warlock stuff is because they teased it in the second one. Like, what happens there? Like, does he become a good guy? Does he help him out? What? I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
we'll see. Yeah, that's an interesting character too, because it's like, how do they use him not being an Infinity Gauntlet? Because that's kind of like his main sort of storyline. I remember.
yeah, that's the whole purpose of that character is to be part of the Infinity story, and they never used him for it. So it's like, what are they going to do with him now? How do they repurpose him? Would be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
but yeah, I am very, very optimistic about it. Fully prepared to be emotional, cry, what have you. I know I'll be satisfied. I'm just emotionally preparing for it because I think it is going to be a tearjerker. It's the last film.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any expectations. I guess we'll see. Yeah,
Like I know that Rocket's entire pre-Rocket story is animal experimentation, and that is a real thing, but I'm also like nervous on how much they're gonna dive into that because it's too close to home for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough to watch that kind of stuff.
yeah. Or Rocket.
And like I think we're all connected. We're like tied like really close to Rocket, but like in the commercials they've shown a little bit of Lila. What they've shown of her, I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do with Lila?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. Like I don't know this character, but I'm really dreading seeing what happens to the character. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the animal.
Same.
Yeah. And the walrus. Oh no.
Yeah.
And the
What
rabbit.
was the walrus's name? I forgot.
I think it's like Floor.
Oh, it's Teefs.
Teefs, yeah, Teefs.
The rabbit is Floor.
Floor.
Because Floor is on the floor.
Yeah. And then
that's a rabbit, right? I think it's a rabbit.
That is a rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah, oh my god, it looks great. It looks great. I don't know. Yeah. What's gonna happen though, but we'll see. One way or another. Yeah.
I'm glad he got to finish it off. I'm glad he got to finish it off though, because there was a time when like he might not have finished this trilogy. I'm like,
yeah. I would not have watched, or I don't know, probably, but I would not have been excited for like another director doing it. Like, I don't know, I think they said like Adam McKay or Travis Knight. I'm like, no, you can't have anyone else.
That's kind of a grab bag though sometimes, because like when you had like Taika Waititi, it was like everyone's like, oh, he's got to finish his Thor trilogy, and like after the second one, like, no, you don't need to see him, what he's doing anymore. So like,
maybe he heard everybody saying, oh, you need to finish it. He's like, what if I kind of ruin it a little bit?
Yeah, that's how I get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like like Ant-Man, I liked Ant-Man 3, but a lot of people didn't, and that was all
Wow.
one director. So it's like he finished his
Mm.
trilogy, and people are like, well, I don't like the end of it. Well, I
Yeah.
was like, I mean, I'm glad he got to finish it. I think it was okay, but I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so you never
Yeah.
know. But I'm glad. I'm definitely glad that James Gunn gets to finish this one because I think he knows these characters better than any other director would have known it. So
Yes. Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and yeah, you have to. Yeah, I think it's more personal, for him, writing wise and everything. So yeah, I'm glad that he was able to finish his trilogy. And yeah, I from all accounts, it's a great film. So I guess we'll just have to see it. Yeah, I'm glad that it exists. It's in canon. It's filmed. It's going to be in a theater. You could watch it like in IMAX or 3D. It's not me advertising these movies, but yeah, just kind of feeling very, very grateful just to see it, to experience it.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably watch
Movies
it a
are,
couple times.
yeah, same. We'll watch it. Movies are back.
Movies, the theaters are back, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of wrapping up here. Any final thoughts? Anything for Guardians wise before we do some plugs, promotions?
I wonder if they're going to do like I don't know. I was just skimming through the IMDb and I don't think it's gonna happen. But if they did flashbacks with Yondu, that would be nice for me. But
Hmm.
if he's dead and he's dead, fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, lots of hopes and aspirations for the third volume. We'll see.
For me, I think I'd like to see, like, I know they're gonna wrap everything up. There's one thing that I don't know if they've ever had any intention of wrapping up, but rewatching these movies kind of made me think about it. Like the rest of Peter's relatives on Earth,
yeah,
they've
yeah. Because
never
he
really
goes to
addressed.
Earth.
They've never really addressed like what they think, like what's going on though there. So, I would like to see that. I don't have
Mhm.
any hopes for it, but I do kind of would like to see some sort of resolution with that.
Yeah, I would hope so too, because it's like you see the dad or his grandfather, excuse me,
Yeah,
at the end of volume one, still
yeah.
waiting, looking to the sky, and then
And
he,
after rewatching, I'm like, oh my god, he thinks his son is like, I mean, his grandson is like kidnapped or something. What he was, but I
yeah,
mean, like, what happened to him? Like, oh, I
hmm
don't know.
and then he cameos in volume two
Mhm.
as well.
Briefly,
Yeah,
yeah,
very briefly, and then Peter goes back to Earth in Endgame, and there's not really too much of a
yeah.
reaction or anything.
So I don't know.
So
We'll see what happens.
yeah, yeah, that's a plot line I would like to be addressed, I
Hmm.
would say. But yeah, yeah, that's it for me. But this was a great panel with you guys talking Guardians. It's always good to have everyone on, especially to talk comic books because I love comics. Yeah, comic book movies. There's some good ones. So highlight the good ones indeed. But yeah, where can people find you at? Any plugs or anything you guys want to promote?
I mean, I have a channel called Nom Talk Network.
Hmm.
And Mikey here and Jean have both been on.
That
We
I
we
have.
love we love
Yeah.
talking about movies and shows, and I've been getting drunk over the weekends making some alcoholic beverage content for our TikTok. So
Nice.
yeah, check it out.
Very cool. Yeah. Where can
Yeah.
people find that at? Any social media?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, I forgot.
No, no, it's all
um
good.
you can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yes. If you're in the G4 Discord,
Mm,
it is announced when we go live.
there you go. Yeah, check out the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I'll be on there to for a couple times this next month coming up, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you can also find me on Instagram and all the socials under gripc47. I do obviously a lot of posts about geeky things like
Mhm.
movies and concerts I go to and anime and stuff like that. So I mean, if you need that kind of stuff, I posted. I think I just recently went and I took a picture of the Wonder Woman statue over at Warner Brothers lot. So I don't know if you like that kind of stuff, give it a follow.
Yeah, love
Do
all
it.
three of those.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, and then you could find me on Twitter, Instagram, G9892. You could follow the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press on Twitter, at the Waffle Press on Instagram. We're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. So, please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.